and welcome to my channel. For today's video, I am going to be doing a bit of a 24 hours in my life. I was originally going to do just a whole day, like wake up to going to sleep, but my schedule for the day, even though I don't actually have like a set in stone schedule, is kind of strange and I think wouldn't necessarily leave me with a lot of time or things to actually vlog. So I'm gonna be doing 24 hours starting right now, and it's about like 15 minutes before noon. Yeah, this is the beginning of that vlog, even though that's kind of obvious because I've obviously started the vlog and you're here. But anyway, I have the day off today. I do not work at all, which is so nice. It really is. So I decided that I was going to run some errands that I've been meaning to run. They're not like necessary errands by any means, but I just want to get these things, so I'm going to. I am going to try and find a 4-pack of the Shirley Temple poppies because those are so good and I really like them. I think they're absolutely delicious. And I'm also probably going to look for a 4-pack of like some mini Alanis because I do have a couple of morning shifts this week, and while I love an energy drink, I can't usually drink like a full one and have my heart like not explode out of my chest. So we're not gonna even tempt fate with that. And then one specific little weird thing that I'm looking for is I saw a couple of weeks ago that the show Avatar: The Last Airbender has this little children's book that's actually from the perspective of the cabbage seller, like the cabbage man. And I've been thinking about it ever since, quite frankly. I have not been able to stop thinking about it. And just to be clear, I'm not getting it like for myself. I am getting it for myself. Obviously, I'm going to have it in my possession, but I'm getting it because I have 2 nephews. So I obviously want to introduce them to the best show of all time as young as possible. And I think this is a great way to do that. Unfortunately though, the only place that does sell that book is Target. And if you've been following my channel for a while or following me for a while, you know that I try my best to not buy from Target or Walmart or like big corporations that like don't necessarily have the best morals or like support good things. And while this book isn't necessarily a need, it's not something that I physically cannot survive without. It's something that I really want, and I think that I am going to justify one purchase from Target this year, and this will be it. And then I will also be going to get some sushi because my favorite sushi place has my favorite sushi roll at half price right now. And so that means that I have to get it, like legally, I think. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to stop at Target first and grab what I need to grab so that the sushi isn't just like sitting in the car for any period of time. And I'm almost to the parking lot, so let's go ahead and see if I can find everything that I need. Okay, the first thing that I'm looking for is the book because that's like my main thing that I want. But I'm low-key struggling to find it because it says that it's somewhere online and it's not there. I actually don't even think that aisle exists, so gonna have to look a little more closely, I guess. So I can't find the book, which is really unfortunate, but I'm gonna look for someone to like help me find it. But in the meantime, I'm going to get the sodas now. And that is exactly why I don't shop at Target. Yeah, and that's exactly why I don't shop at Target, because that was ridiculous. So let's run through some of the things that just happened, yeah? 1, the book that I was looking for was hidden behind a bunch of other books that weren't that book. So when I looked at where it should have been, I didn't see it. And you might be thinking, you could have rummaged around a little bit. Yeah, sure, if I wanted to, but I expect it to kind of be where it says it's gonna be, which brings me to my next point. The 4-pack of Poppy doesn't exist, or it does exist, but I checked on my phone because that's the reason that I came here in the first place. I saw online that it said they had it in store, and maybe my first red flag should have been the fact that it said in grocery section and not a specific like aisle, sure. But I was like looking for it everywhere, was looking where the poppy normally is, and couldn't find it. And then I checked one of the little kiosks in the store where you can like check what aisle stuff is in. It says it was in the back. So I'm obviously not going to like bother an employee who's got other stuff going on to make them go into the back, because the chances of them even actually going to the back and looking for it are slim. And so that's just another reason. If the moral reasons why you shouldn't be supporting Target aren't enough for you, take into consideration how horrible their store in general is. Okay, that's the rant, but now I'm going to go get my sushi. So then I guess I'll see you at home. So I took a bit of time to have my lunch, which was absolutely delectable, by the way. And now I am wanting to kind of dive into going through all the clothes in my closet and decide if there's any stuff that I don't really wear much anymore, and then either giving it away to friends or donating it to a local thrift store. I also have quite a lot of clean clothes that I need to like put away, but I'm thinking that I should go ahead and go through my closet now, maybe while not everything is necessarily in here, because if there's a little less clothes to go through, then it'll probably be easier in the long run, or at least that's what I'm telling myself. And then I can put all the clothes that I don't have in here, all my clean clothes, back in here, and then I can go through it again, kind of at a later date maybe, or maybe I'll go through it again super soon, like within the next 24 hours, but only time will tell, I guess. So, oh, I also need to put away this little mug that I got in last week's video. Is it not literally so precious? Like, is that not amazing? If you don't think that's amazing, you're lying to yourself. But I have bins up here of like plates and mugs and cups that I don't necessarily need to use right now because I still live with my parents, if you didn't know that. But I like to buy stuff for like myself when I do have my own place, so that I don't have to like buy a bunch of stuff all at once and spend a bunch of money then. I've been on the hunt just for things that like really capture who I am as a person and like really speak to me for a couple of years now, and you know, I don't think I necessarily need more stuff at this point, but you know, if something speaks to me, like this mug, then it's gonna come home with me and it's going to be mine. So I think I'm gonna actually start with that, getting it down and then putting this in there. Here she is, and then I'm just gonna set her down here, and then in she goes. I literally have so many like mugs and cups, and I love it, quite frankly. I love collecting that kind of stuff. And that's that. I would also really, at some time in the near future, like to work on getting some hooks for my tote bags and such, because right now, and I'm not going to show you because I'm embarrassed, but right now I just have a pile of tote bags on the floor of my closet, and it makes navigating in here a little difficult. And I would love to just have somewhere to like display them so I can look at them, and I can also like more easily change out my tote bag if I want to. But I do not think that that's happening today, because I do actually have like my sights set on these specific hooks from Hobby Lobby, because they're gold and I think they have either flowers or bees on them. I'm pretty sure it's flowers, and I just really like them. I really like them a lot, but they're not in stock at the Hobby Lobby like near me, or any Hobby Lobby near me actually. But now let's start going through clothes and we can continue to talk. And I'm also really looking into getting some more bookshelves, but like the wall mounted bookshelves, not like ones that just set up against the wall, like literally floating bookshelves, because I need more space for my books. Or at least that's what I'm telling myself, because I have a very specific vision for what my bookshelves that I currently have that I want it to look like that came to me in like a dream recently. Not really, I thought of it randomly. I can't really execute that or like start the process of making it look like that until I have more space to like move stuff around. So unfortunately, I have to spend a little money to save a little money, if you will. But I've also been meaning to get some more bookshelves anyway, so I don't think that's necessarily going to be like a huge problem for me. I really don't wear this super frequently, so there. I also really don't wear this super frequently. I only have kept this because there's a line on the back of the shirt where like there's a seam, obviously, and for like several years straight I would wear this shirt to the hairdresser so that they could cut right along this line. And I'm definitely feeling the itch of like getting a haircut soon, but I think I want to go shorter. It's been a while since I've cut my hair, but I need to get back on that because it's so freeing, and it's starting to get warmer, and the more hair you have, the more it is to like deal with, so I really don't want to be doing all that all the time. I really like this sweater, I really do, but I think that the sleeves aren't long enough for me, but everyone I've asked has told me that they are long enough for me, so I don't really know what to do about that. Oh my gosh, I also just remembered another thing that I wanted to do. I saw this woman online like several years ago talk about how if you want to go through your closet and like get rid of stuff that you don't wear anymore, the best way to do that that's like kind of low effort is to change the direction of all the hangers that you have. So like if you would normally just like this, take it on, put it off that simply, then you should turn it around so that you have to physically move it out of the way. And then once you put it back up on the hanger, you put it back the way you would normally keep it. And then like at the end of each season or like at the end of the year, whatever you want to do, you can look and literally see which shirts you like didn't reach for or didn't gravitate towards. And then you know which things you can get rid of, like, and fully know that you really don't get much wear out of them. So I'm thinking I want to try that as well. And I've been wanting to try that for a couple of years, but I just never committed to it. But since I'm recording for a YouTube video, might as well commit to the bit now. It's also a lot easier because these hangers that I have don't actually require me to take the clothes off the hanger and then like put them on the other way. I can literally just twist the hook. So simple. I really do not wear this as much as I would like to because I have this thing about like specifically this color, like a light blue, that in my head, I can't wear it with like light wash jeans. And that's quite frankly, mostly what I wear. Like I don't really wear dark wash jeans very much. So I just don't really reach for this literally ever, unfortunately. So I think it's time that I admit that to myself and let someone else have a chance with it. I really haven't worn this one in a while either, which is shocking because I used to wear this like literally all the time. I think it's such a cute shirt. Should I just go ahead and give it away? I think I might go ahead and give it away. That really makes me sad though. I used to love this shirt. I have not worn this literally ever, but I feel like it could be something fun and cool for a concert outfit at the very least. One day though, one day for like a concert for sure. Unfortunately, have not worn this literally ever, which is such a shame because I think it's so cute. But I'm not really as much of a Halloween girly or like skeleton girly as I would like to be, at least not right now. So I think it's time someone else gets a shot with this. And now's the difficult part because I have to get all the way back here because this does go all the way to the wall. So I'm not sure how much of this you're gonna be able to see, but let's try it anyway. Again, another one of those pieces that I used to love so much, but I just don't get any wear out of it. Like literally at all, which is such a shame. It's so cute. It's a little black overall dress, but it's not for me anymore. And that's okay. Oh, my arm hurts. We're so close though. We're almost done. I can do this. All right. And that is it. At least for now. At least for now. Ooh, okay. That was so much energy and effort let's go ahead and move to somewhere that isn't this closet. Okay, as I was sorting through all of the clothes that I decided that I don't want anymore, I was thinking more and more about how I want some hooks for my tote bag collection. And as I was moving in and out of my closet, I decided in that moment that I actually don't want to wait anymore to get them, and that I don't want my tote bags to just be living on the floor in my closet. So I decided to do a little looking online and seeing if there were any places nearby that sold some hooks that I was kind of looking for that weren't just like random hooks, but had some kind of design on it. And I found some very promising ones at a place called At Home. And after thinking about it for a while and consulting with some people, I am going to go back out and go and buy some hooks for my bags, and I think install them today, hopefully. So I have a couple of ones that I'm going to look for. I don't know which ones exactly I want yet. There were ones with flowers on them. There was a one with like a bee on it. There was even one with like a hummingbird, I think, which is really cool. And I don't know exactly which one I want yet, or if I kind of want to mix it up and get one of each. But yeah, I thought I would go ahead and update you since my plans have changed. And hopefully it'll be a pretty easy decision once I actually get to the store. Like, I won't be standing in the aisle for 10 minutes debating between like two different hooks, so that I can get home relatively quickly and actually put them up. I think I will either update you when I'm at the store and like deciding between all my options, or when I'm back home and we're installing them. Okay, so I'm at the store and I found what I'm looking for, but now I have a slight problem. These are a lot bigger than I thought they were. That's not the problem, but that's just an observation. The two that I liked the most are actually two slightly different shades of gold. So they don't match. So I couldn't just get one of each and be like, oh, it's fun. It's mismatchy. Mismatched, but like on purpose and cool. I don't know. It's kind of hard to actually tell on the camera, but I can tell in real life. And that's what's important here. I think I like the flower more. I think I do. I would really love to know how exactly you mount these though. Okay, there is a screw hole on the back because there's not like any visible places on it to put a screw. So that was a mild concern. And you know what? I think I do need to get the flowers because there's actually only two left. So that's a sign. Okay, so now we go home and put them on the wall, I guess. All right, so I am now home, and with the help of my father, I was able to get the hooks up on the wall, and I'm really liking them so far. I am honestly not really sure about the placement right now. I was kind of hoping to have them farther apart, but we're trying to roll with some of the holes that were already in the wall, and then if I really hate it, then we can move it around a bit. But we're gonna roll with this, at least for now, and it's gonna do the purpose that it's intended to do, which is holding bags. So now the fun part of actually putting all those bags on the wall. I have probably too many tote bags, and believe it or not, I actually already went through my tote bags before I went to buy the hooks and got rid of a couple. And by got rid of, I mean that I'm going to get rid of them at some point in the near future. I didn't actually like throw them away or anything. Cute, I like it. And then all of these tote bags, which are actually like slightly bigger, for when I'm carrying a lot more things, or like going to the beach or to the lake or something like that. And I really like that. I think that's really cute. Again, I do wish that I could move them a little farther apart so that they weren't like overlapping here. But other than that, I really like how it turned out. And I specifically really like that it's not just like plain hooks, like they're fun little flowers. That's so fun. So very happy with how this turned out. Now, for the rest of the night, I don't have much planned. I'm gonna probably make some dinner with my parents. And then I think I'm going over to my friend Rachel's house tonight for movie night. And I will probably be over there until like very late at night because I usually am. I guess I'll update you on whatever I get up to tomorrow morning. So it is now the next day and I ended up staying over at Rachel's place until nearly 11 o'clock at night watching Avatar: The Last Airbender because we've been trying to watch through that entire show over the last few months. It's my favorite show of all time. Like, I have seen it more times than I can count, realistically. I might be in triple digits with how many times I've seen it, actually. But Rachel's never seen it before. So she's watching it for the first time, which is so much fun to get to, like, watch other people watch your favorite show for the first time. Like, it is so gratifying and satisfying of like people putting together certain things and like noticing little details, and like it's just so much fun. I really love it. We actually finished season 2 and are now on like the first episode of season 3, which is crazy and insane and so exciting because season 3 is so good. It is admittedly a little later than I wanted to be starting this vlog, but at the end of the day, it's not that serious. I have to go into work today in like the late afternoon, early evening. And fun fact, I actually realized this morning that I clopen, which is so fun, so great. So if you're not aware of what that means, it means I'm closing tonight and then I open tomorrow, which is so amazing, and I love doing that so much. Obviously joking, by the way. But as a way to kind of reward myself for that, I am going to go out for, I think, about an hour to my favorite local cafe and do some reading and journaling. I actually did this in my last video, if you watched it, and just had a really great time. So I kind of want to preemptively reward myself for having to close and then open by giving myself a little sweet treat and a little time to just do the things that I want to do. So like I said, reading and journaling. And then I think I'm gonna come home. The goal is definitely to be home before noon, like before lunchtime, so that I can have lunch here and can do a couple of more things around the house if I am feeling up to it before I have to head out for work. But yeah, I'm trying to not give myself too much of like a time limit because today is probably gonna be a long day and tomorrow is probably gonna be a long day. Yeah, I'm trying to give myself some grace, I guess. Also, I cannot remember for the life of me if I was actually talking about it in this video or if I was actually talking about it in my last video, but I have recently been talking about how like the weather is getting warmer and like nicer out and it feels more like spring. And today I woke up and checked the weather app because I was just trying to get a vibe on like what the outfit I should be wearing is like due to weather and such. Tell me why it is 33 degrees outside. And yesterday, it was in the 70s. And now it's 33 degrees. And the high today is supposed to be 40. But anyway, we're not gonna continue to reflect and be frustrated by things we can't control. I just put on a layered outfit that will hopefully keep me relatively warm. And I am going to head out now. And I doubt I'll do much vlogging actually in the cafe. But I guess I will see you sometime after that. So I am now back home. I did spend about an hour at the cafe. I actually spent a little more than an hour at the cafe because actually getting there was kind of hectic this morning. There was a really bad accident on like the main road to get to that place. And unfortunately, I didn't realize that until it was already far too late and there was absolutely no way I could have turned around. And it took me an extra like 15 minutes to get where I was going, which really sucks because that dug into a lot of my time that I would have spent doing literally anything else. But that's okay because at the end of the day, a little bit of traffic is not the end of the world, especially because I didn't actually have anywhere to be. Like I wasn't late to anything. So it's okay. But I am now back home. I ended up doing a couple of journal entries, which is so nice. And I feel like I say it every single time I journal, but I always forget how much I enjoy journaling until I'm doing it or have just done it and I'm like, wow, that was so much fun. I'm trying to get it to stick a little more this time around. I also read a little bit in my book. I'm currently reading A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena, and it's really good so far. I'm really enjoying it. First of all, physically, the book is so nice. Like, I have a paperback version of it, and it's so floppy and so great. I don't want to jinx myself, but it feels like the spine is uncrackable. And that is such a nice feeling as someone who loves to just flop around the books and like hold it pretty like widespread. It's so nice that it doesn't feel like the edges are like breaking apart almost. And then the story itself is really interesting and very intriguing and actually really captivating my attention, which is nice. I will say it's a bit of a hard read for me personally because fantasy requires a lot of world building, obviously, because it's not the real human world. So you have to explain like areas and the weather sometimes and magic and that kind of thing. But other than that, I'm really having a good time with it. And now that I'm home, I'm actually feeling a little motivated to maybe get some stuff done. So I'm thinking I am going to take the piles and piles and piles of clean clothes that I have and go ahead and put everything away. And maybe as I'm going through stuff, be willing to take a closer look at certain things and actually determine if I want to keep certain things or not, or if I am ready to give them up. But I unfortunately have let my piles of clean clothes get really big again, which is insane because it feels like literally only yesterday I like just went through everything and made it so that they aren't humongous piles. But I guess that's life when you're wearing clothes and then washing them and then cleaning them, and it's a never-ending cycle. But yeah, I am gonna go grab those piles of clothes because like I said, there are a lot of them. We've got 1, 2, 3, which is just a mini stack of socks, 4, 5, and 6. And I've found in the past that the best way to actually get me to take care of all these clothes and actually put them away instead of letting them sit in piles and then just grow higher and higher is to put them directly on my bed or directly somewhere where I can't just avoid them, because eventually later tonight I will be getting into bed to go to sleep. And more specifically, I will be coming home after closing, so I don't really want to have to deal with all of this then. So I'm just going to deal with it now. That being said, this is going to take a little bit of time to fully do. So I'm thinking we time lapse it, honestly. I think that could be a fun way to get this done more quickly, at least for me. And I'm probably going to put on some TV in the background while I do this because I deserve a little reward. I'm actually at the very end of my Steven Universe rewatch. Like I'm on the last few episodes of the last season and I'm so excited. I'm so happy. And I cannot wait to finish it. I cannot wait to re-experience this ending again. So yeah, I want to do that. So I'm going to, because I can, and I have free will. Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point to avoid getting on task. But as soon as I'm done with all this, then we'll regroup and figure out what I'm doing next. So I am now officially done with putting away all my clean clothes, which feels insane to say. Sorry. Because as I was expressing earlier, sometimes it feels like such a huge task. And as you could see from earlier, sometimes it is a huge task. Sometimes I will let it accumulate to the point where it not only looks impossible, but it feels impossible. And it never is. It just takes a little more time the longer I put it off. But I did eventually get it done, which was really nice. And I am at the very end of Steven Universe. I think I'm on literally the last episode. And I probably have half of it left, which is so exciting. I literally cannot even begin to express how much I adore this show. Like literally, it's so great. However, the 24-hour mark has technically come and gone a while ago now, but I wanted to do one last thing to kind of wrap it up. And that last thing is to make myself some lunch in the form of a smoothie. Because even though it is literally so cold outside, I've been craving a smoothie, and I was gonna make one yesterday morning, but I just didn't feel up to it because I had already started making something else as well. So I decided to skip out on it, and now I am wanting to make up for it today. So yeah, it's also a pretty like simple and easy process of making a smoothie, at least the way that I make it. So it'll be a very quick way to get a good lunch in, I think. Allow me to go get the ingredients. So first, for the actual like juice part, I have some orange juice, and I also have some pineapple coconut water. I usually do primarily orange juice and then like a little splash of coconut water. So we'll do that for sure. And then I generally don't do too much fruit. Well, that's not true. I do a lot of fruit, but I don't do too many different fruits. And today I'm going to stick with some mango, some strawberries, and pineapple. And then the secret ingredient is none other than some multi-collagen protein powder. I also usually generally skip out on yogurt, just because sometimes dairy doesn't really agree with me very well. So we don't like to tempt fate in that way. Also, like I was kind of saying earlier, sometimes I tend to go a little overboard on the fruit, and sometimes I pay really close attention and get it to where it's not too much and I don't like feel like I can't finish the last of the smoothie. Sometimes I don't pay attention. And you know what? That's okay too. It happens. Oh my god, I love mango so much. It's so yummy. And then at the very top, we're gonna, oh, hopefully if it opens, holy cow. There we go. Oh my god, that was really difficult. Okay, then a little bit of pineapple at the top. And these are really big pieces of pineapple, so I'm actually really not gonna put in all that much, I think. There we go. Gonna quickly rinse this hand actually. And then we'll zip this back up. And then, like I said, majority orange juice is kind of what we go for, or what I go for anyway. Actually, I'm gonna put in the protein powder first so that it actually gets down in there and fully, I almost said evaporates. Dissolves is the word I'm looking for. And then the orange juice on top. And don't fill it up all the way. Do a little bit of the coconut water with pineapple juice. A little more. Yeah, that's great. And then top it off with orange juice. The order that you do this in, I guess, isn't necessarily all that serious, at least the juice part. But I just like to kind of have a visual of how much I'm putting in and not necessarily fill it to the top. That's also a problem I will sometimes have of, yeah, for example, literally right now, overfilling it. And then I can't exactly get her in there, which is really unfortunate. That did it a little bit. Will that fully get it on? Will it actually mix? These are the questions we have to ask ourselves. I'm also gonna go ahead and clean up because I prefer to clean as I go. And the juice, not spilling, which is generally a good sign. Here's to hoping that it actually spins. It's gonna get really loud. You might wanna turn down your volume. Maybe I shouldn't have actually put the protein powder in first. Usually it doesn't clump up like this at the bottom, but today it is, which is a tad bit alarming. But we are going to hope that it mixes up again. Again, volume warning. That's worse. That's actually worse. So that's insane. Okay, well, I think unfortunately the bottom is just not gonna mix all that well together. But you know what? You can't win them all. You really can't. But then, of course, with the exception of the bottom not being fully mixed, this is the final product. And she looks absolutely delectable. Okay, yeah, okay, not bad. Let me go take care of this. And then we're back with a metal straw because she's eco-friendly. That's not the word I was looking for, but it's close enough. And now for the taste test, of course, because I've made this a million times, but sometimes it tastes different. Yeah, that's amazing. Oh, I love a smoothie. I really do. I love a smoothie. Okay, well, this is probably gonna be the end of the vlog for today. I don't really have anything else planned other than obviously going into work tonight. So I think this is a pretty good spot to go ahead and wrap up the video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!